Hey guys, it's me again. Day 3, the final day of the SFA Digital Summit, and I'm here in beautiful Poblacion, Makati. If you look around me, I have BGC in the background. If we did a 360, you would see the Makati skyline. You'd also see Mandaluyong to the right of me over here. This is one of my favorite spots. This is Dr. Wine. It's a French restaurant at the bottom that has a wide selection of wines from around the world. And on top, there used to be a restaurant slash bar called Cartel, and they actually got shut down because they were not complying to COVID rules during the height of the pandemic here in the Philippines. But that being said, day one was how to build an e-commerce brand. So we talked about the steps that it takes, what a brand means, how to communicate that with your audience. So we had Jordan Glickman, we had Harrison Bevins talk about building an Amazon business that you can sell. We had Alan Scanlan talk about his e-commerce brand that he built up in the last year or so. We had marketing for FBA by Emma Schumer-Tamir. We had topics on crowdfunding as well by Nalan. So lots of great information there. So that was day one. Day two was the nitty-gritty of manufacturing. That was me. That was my business partner Mike. That was Andy Church talking about quality control. That was Luke Francis talking about the manufacturing pitfalls. So super important, all the right steps you have to take. That was also Renault talking about design for manufacturing. So super important, all the steps you have to take when it comes to designing your product to make it something that could actually be produced. And then the quality control steps, the mass production steps, supplier vetting, and also understanding the mistakes that other people have made in the past so you don't have to make those same mistakes. Day three is the logical thing would be logistics, right? Shipping and logistics is what we're going to be covering. We're also going to be covering product compliance. You know, when you're shipping to different countries have different standards. And if you don't have certain standards met, if your goods arrive at the port, they could get seized. We also talk about leveraging community to build a true e-commerce brand. We're going to be talking about going beyond Amazon. Obviously, Amazon is a great resource to start your business and start selling on, but you also want to build a brand beyond Amazon. You don't want to be 100% reliant on Amazon. And speaking of Amazon, we also have one of my good friends, Lorenzo Payman, who covers how to make your FBA business more defensible by adding a cause to it. And finally, and last but not least, Facebook ads for your e-commerce business by Jordan Glickman once again. So I hope you enjoyed day three. This is the final day. If you haven't gone through everything, you need to make sure you watch the day two videos before you get here because you want to follow the right steps. I know everybody will be in a different place, but again, by the end of this day, if you follow day one, day two, day three, you should have a blueprint on how to build a 6 to 7 figure e-commerce business.
So in terms of Facebook ads, I wanted to run through some of the key areas that go into Facebook. While this is not going to show you exactly how to run ads, it will show you what you need to look for within a freelancer or an agency. And you should also come prepared to a freelancer or agency with and be aware of these key things. I believe fully and from our experience with clients that if you're not aware of what's going on and what's happening, both Facebook ads or any service as a matter, that you can't be as successful as possible because only you know your brand as well as someone can know it. The agency is never going to know it as well as you will or do. And so you want to come prepared, understanding some of these key parts and also making sure that you keep the agency or freelancer aligned and that they are driving these key parts and areas. So step one that I like to start with is creating an offer. And I think that really is quite obvious. It may be something as simple as offering some kind of discount. It may be offering the product as itself, but I think really understanding not just what the basic offer is, but why someone's going to buy it. So I've created a chart here. I understand that most people will be doing physical products, but I think understanding the side of high desire and easy to consume is the key to really creating a good offer. So I think creating a offer that is easy to consume versus hard to consume is part of the first step. Really understanding that when you are pitching this specifically through Facebook ads or really any medium for the matter of fact, you need to make it easy for the consumer to understand what it is you're offering. So if you're offering a strategy session, that may be a little bit harder for them to consume and to take action on because they have to go through multiple steps to be able to get that. Versus an ebook or report, it's something that they can get immediately, that they can get now. On the other side, you also have the level of, my goodness. On the other side, you also have the level of desire. So A desire for an ebook may not be as high today as it was, say, 5 years ago online. And so maybe a tangible asset, something that's a free product, or an actual case study that they can actually take real value from, is going to be a bit higher desire than, say, an ebook or report, and definitely from a sales call, if you will. So also on the other side of higher desire, it may be a webinar, something that may give an hour of pure education and value versus something like an ebook that's just not as high desire. It's just quick. They're normally 1 or 2 pages, and they don't deliver as much consistent value. So again, putting your offer in a way and illustrating it in a way and displaying it in a way that creates the highest desire for the product that you're offering and is easiest to consume, so they know and understand what they're getting. That it's more than just a phone case, but maybe it's a phone case that does this, and it only costs this, and you can get it in this amount of time, and making sure that your offer is clear. And that's going to be important as we talk about the creatives and the copies, really all other parts of your Facebook ad. So the next part then being the copywriting. So with copywriting, there is numerous ways to go about this, and by no means is there a right and a wrong way. There are probably some not good ways, but there is by no means only one right way of doing this. Largely in part because with Facebook ads, biggest part of it is really just split testing. It's testing things over and over and over to figure out what works with your audience and what doesn't work with them. So some of the ideas that I want to run by that are worth thinking through is whether short or long copies works better for your audience. If you have enough budget to pay for it, because the more things that you split test, the more budget you're ultimately going to need, or that you're going to have to spend to be able to get the results back to read the data. Is short or long copies. We've seen enormous differences in results. And I'm talking about double the cost of a lead or double the cost of a purchase based on how long the copy is. Sometimes you would think that a longer copy may not convert as much, but we've seen that it does because it gives more value. We've also seen times where it doesn't. So that's one of the things worth delivering or worth split testing. Tone and delivery is another way. How are you speaking to your audience? If you figured out who your audience is, are you speaking to them in the right way? If it's supposed to be more of an environmentally friendly product, are you really conveying that correctly? Especially if the market that you're in. So are you working with an Australian agency for an Aussie product? Are you going to speak to them correctly, as cultures are completely different? Or is the agency familiar with working within different markets as well too? So when we advertise in Hong Kong versus advertising in the US, completely different way of creating our copywriting.